Okay guys, I want to show you how to set up a folder structure inside of your workflow system that'll help keep you organized and keep all of your footage and your videos and everything in one spot so that everything's safe. Now we're going to be using Google Drive for this, and yes, it is a little bit clunky because videos are bigger folders and files, and so and with the way Premiere works, there's a little bit of clunkiness. But this is the most secure way to keep things, keep your project safe and everything organized in one place. So here's how we're gonna now workflow. Okay, workflow. The definition of workflow is just the process of how to get from raw video footage, right? The stuff you record in camera, all those little clips, all the little mistakes, all the bloopers, everything. Get all of that package, bring it into the computer, edit. So from raw, unorganized footage to final organized product video, right? Your polished video. So let's go ahead and get this set up. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to log into my student email account, and then I'm going to come over to this three-dot menu right here. So let me highlight that for you. Three-dot menu right there next to your name. Okay, and once you click on that, there is right next to your account, beautiful picture, there is the Drive button. You're going to go ahead and click on that. It'll bring you to Google Drive here. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on my mouse, and I'm going to say new folder. Now I'm going to call this folder Video Productions. You can call it Video Productions 1, Video Productions 2, TV Broadcasting, all of them. Well, TV Kids are a little bit different. So Video 1, Video 2, this is going to be your setup. Okay, I'm just going to leave it as Video Productions 1, or you can call it Video Class, whatever you want to call it that makes sense, that you know that this folder belongs to your Video Productions class here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and hit Create. Inside the Video Productions folder, okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to have you set up a couple more folders, and we're going to get going on that. Okay, so the first folder that we're going to make inside of this is where we're going to make the final video folder. Okay, so when you export from Premiere or whatever editor you're using, you will export it onto your desktop, and then from the desktop upload it into Google Drive in this final video area and use it from there. Okay, if you're exporting from your phone, if you're using your phone to edit, you're going full mobile, then you'll save it to your camera roll, your photos, your pictures, whatever you want to call it, and then from your photos and pictures, you'll upload it to your Google Drive, this folder. Okay, so we've made that one. Okay, and nothing goes inside of that folder other than your final product. There's no other subfolders. Okay, we're going to make another folder called Footage. Okay, and I'll come back to this one because there's lots of subfolders that go in here. And I'm going to make a new one called Music, and another one called Project, and the last one called Thumbnails. Now, the reason why it's important to have thumbnails is because if we're uploading this to YouTube, a good thumbnail speaks volumes to how often your video gets clicked on and things like that. So if you're looking at video as a career, it's important to consider your thumbnails, especially if you are uploading to YouTube. And you're going to make YouTube your career. Now, it's a very viable career. It's a very everything, but you have to have an entrepreneur spirit, okay? Because that's what you're doing. You're running your own multimedia production business, and instead of having a big production studio and a big office and all of those things for big commercial work to come in, you're doing smaller either individual content or even smaller commercial work, but you're doing it at your home office or a smaller office, smaller locations, and you're uploading those to YouTube. So just as far as the business side of things, it simplifies your delivery method. Anyway, way more than what you wanted to know, especially in this video. It doesn't pertain to it. Okay, focus. So thumbnails is important if you continue to, or if you're interested in doing this as a career. Okay, so here we go. Thumbnails. Okay, we're going to jump back into this footage folder right here, and we're going to start creating a bunch of subfolders within here. Okay, the first one we're going to do is we're going to call it cameras. Okay, so this is what camera is this footage coming from, because that's important to know. Okay, so within that camera folder, we're going to make two more, at least two more, right? So DSLR for this class. Now you might later on in life need to change the names of these, create more of these, and I'm just going to call it phone footage. On my personal one, it's iPhone footage because I have an iPhone, but or you could name it whatever phone footage you want it to be. Whether you have the Galaxy, the Pixel, whatever, I don't care. Phones are all the same anymore. Kind of like, which is better, Mr. Mitchell, Mac or PC? It really doesn't matter. It doesn't. I prefer Mac just because I like them. But they all have their disadvantages. Okay? But jumping back to so if it's coming from my DSLR, so the bigger cameras, right? My Canon, these cameras, right? So if it's coming from, a camera like this, or now this one happens to be the Sony, but if it's coming from a bigger camera like that, I consider it a DSLR. Actually, that Sony is considered mirrorless, so you could also add that in here if you wanted. I'm just going to consider it a DSLR and phone footage, and that's all we're putting in there. Okay. Another one that we're going to have in here is an end screen folder. Again, that's not spelled right. Important for YouTube. Okay. Okay. End screen. This is also important for YouTube if you plan on having that as a career. The end screen is the thing at the very end of the video that pops up and is like, click here to subscribe, click here to watch more videos, click here to follow this person on Instagram or whatever. Okay, that's the end screen. And you can create those looks and then import them. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. End screen folder, nice to have. Okay, another one, screen recordings. So if you do any screen recordings like this is a screencast, and if I wanted to edit this as a part of a larger video, right, then I could, right, because I could turn off this webcam and just use a big DSLR, have it set up here for, the circle piece that you see. I can't point to it because it's a screen. But the little circle video that you see me in now, you could I could have this as a point of view pointing at me over here, right, as kind of like a second camera, and I could use this to look at versus my webcam. Or I could put it up above my webcam and use that video separately. I'm just using the webcam because it's easy. Okay, so that's screen recordings. So if you were recording your screen separate, or even something like this, any screen recording goes in there. That's part of your video or part of your project. Okay, and then I'm going to make a new folder in here called graphics. So any of your graphics that you're going to have pop up or use or any of those kinds of things. And within the graphics folder, I'm going to create one called motion. Okay, from any motion graphics that I might have. That's all of the subfolders that you're going to need inside of the footage folder. Okay, so jumping back out to Video Productions 1, there is your file structure setup. Okay, now you can use this for every project that you make, or you can see it's a little bit different than taking photos. Photos, you can set up one and use that for all of your projects. For video, it might be wise to set up this file structure for each individual project. So what you could do is you could come here and you could say, you know, whatever the project is, project blah 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 blah, okay, and say create, and then you would select each of these and copy them over to the new project. So I could copy that, go in here, paste all of those. It won't let me do that, will it? Anyway, you could copy them and put them into each individual project, or you could just leave it like this. That's fine too, and have all of your projects listed here. Okay, this is how you set up your project folder, your file structure within that workflow system. This is the one I like. You don't have to follow it exactly if you don't want to, but this is the one I like to use. It works really well for me. And there you go. I'm gonna be done talking now.